Good evening, teacher. My name is New, and today our group would like to talk about the impact of the stress in our life. I'd like to begin by saying that I strongly agree with the statement stress is always harmful. When we talk about stress, we often think of something small, like being nervous before a presentation. But stress goes far beyond that. It affects our physical health, our mental health, our sleep, and even the way we treat the people around us. For example, people under stress often experience insomnia, mood swings, overeating or not eating at all, and even heart problems in the long run. Many people say that a little stress is good, but I don't think so. Even small amount of stress can slowly build up without us noticing. It's like a hidden pleasure that keeps stacking, and one day it becomes too much. Over time, this leads to anxiety, burnout, and even depression. So to me, stress brings more harm than good, no matter how small it seems at first. And Cha, what do you think?
I agree with you, Nhung. And from what I see around me, people rarely deal with light stress. Most of us face serious long-term stress, deadlines at work, financial pressure, expectations from family, social media comparison, and many personal responsibilities. If you look at research, chronic stress weakens the immune system, raises blood pressure, and affects memory and concentration. Just think about office workers. Many of them experience headaches or back pain every week. Students preparing for exams lose sleep and feel exhausted for months. Even if short-term stress helps us focus for a moment, long-term stress is absolutely harmful. And in reality, most stress we experience today is long-term. So overall, the negative effects of stress are much greater than the positive ones. Let me ask you, let me ask you, Gold, how many people do you know who say, I'm stressed and I feel great? Almost none. How about Ninh?
I hear your point, but I actually have a very different view. I don't think stress is always harmful. There is a concept called outstress, which means positive stress. This is the kind of stress that motivates people, keeps them alert, and makes them perform better. Think about students before an important exam. That little pressure makes them study harder, or at least before a competition, they actually need that adrenaline rush to reach their peak performance. If you look at high performing people, leaders, scientists, business owners, many of them say they need a bit of stress to stay sharp. Without channels, many people become bored, unmotivated, and even lazy. So I did agree that stress is always harmful. In many cases, stress pushes us to grow, improve, and discover what we are capable of.
I agree with Ning. I think saying stress is always harmful is too absolute and doesn't match reality. Some people even perform better under pressure. For example, surgeons during operation stay stay extremely focused and stressed, gives them that behind attention. Firefighter or emergency worker really on stress to act quickly and save life. Entrepreneurs face delay pressure, and without it, many wouldn't push themselves to build successful business. If stress were always harmful, how could the people handle crisis or make fast decisions? The truth is stress is a natural part of life, and sometimes it is a very thing that drives us to be more disciplined and more productive. So I don't think stress itself is a core problem. The real issue is how people manage it. Let me ask you, Nhung and Cha, don't you ever feel a good kind of push when you have a deadline? Don't it doesn't it give you motivation?
Oh, I see your point. Pleasure can motivate people, but we have to separate short term pleasure for stress. A little pleasure before a deadline is normal. But when pleasure keeps coming again and again, it becomes stress, and stress becomes harmful. Even athletes or surgeons who you say thrive under pleasure often end up exhausted, mentally drained, or even burnout. Many athletes retire early because of stress. Many doctors suffer from insomnia, anxiety, or emotional fatigue. Stress may help in a single moment, but the long-term effects is still negative. Positive stress sounds nice in books or theories, but in the real world, people suffer more than they benefit. For example, many young people today feel constant pleasure from work or social media. Does that make them stronger? Not really. Many of them end up feeling overwhelmed or depressed. So, yes, short bursts or pressure may help, but real stress, the stress people experience every day, is still harmful. And Cha, what do you think?
Exactly, Nhung. Ending, you mentioned you stress, but let's be honest. How many people actually feel that? Maybe athlete, maybe a few high performance, but most people don't experience positive stress. Most people experience work-life imbalance, pressure from family, financial stress, fear of failure, overthinking, burnout from school or jobs. And these things don't push them to grow, they push them toward exhaustion. The world today is faster, more competitive, and more demanding than ever. High school students experience stress from 12th grade. Parents have to juggle jobs and raising kids. Office workers deal with long hours and unclear expectations. So yes, maybe a little stress motivates you for one day, but is that tiny benefit enough to ignore the huge harm for chronic stress? I really don't think so. How about Ninh?
But if stress were always harmful, then no one could perform well under pressure. Let's look at the real situation. Firefighter entering a burning building. Doctor performing emergency surgery. Pilot landing plane in storm. They all need stress to stay alert and react action quickly. Also in daily life, without deadline, many people would procrastinate without expectation. People would feel tired, learn new skills, or challenge themselves. I'm not saying chronic stress is good. Of course, it's harmful, but not all stress is the same. Some stress builds resilience, teaches people who how to handle channels and help them discover their strength. That's why I believe stress is not always harmful. It depends on how we interpret it and how we respond to it.
I think both sides have made great point, and honestly, they are not completely contradictory. Stress can be harmful, especially when it is long term. But small short-term stress can be also be helpful and motivating. The question really isn't is stress harmful? The real question is how much stress is harmful. If we how if we know how to manage stress through exercise, go sleep, health, healthy boundary, healthy boundary, meditation, or simple better planning, stress can become a positive force instead of the negative one. Some people even train themselves to turn stress into motivation. So instead of saying stress is always harmful, maybe we should focus on helping people understand and manage stress better.
Okay, I see all of your points here. And I think after hearing all of these points, we can agree on a balanced conclusion. Stress is not always harmful, but it becomes harmful when it's too intense, too frequent, or when people don't know how to handle it. A little stress may motivate us to act, but chronic stress definitely damages our health. So the key is balance, recognizing the good side of short-term stress while avoiding the long-term stress that harms our body and mind. And at the end of the day, each person needs to learn how to manage stress in a way that works for them. So that is our presentation. Thank you for listening.